about what I was saying about Brenda. You know, I think one of the things I actually like when I make videos, when I actually speak, and I realized what I was saying about transformation. I think, you know, I was thinking about what this guy, Professor Anton, was saying about cliches and stuff. He was talking about this other guy. I'm not even going to put this up because it's just, you know, I'm probably not, I don't want to be so unclear and then say this. But I was just thinking about this because we say things like, you know, be yourself. You know, I think all the time when I was a kid, when I was in high school, you know, you'd hear that all the time. I mean, not only teachers might tell you that, just be yourself. Or people would say that on some TV show, and you watch those, you know, Saturday morning, you know, things that they always have for the kids, you know. Or be yourself. Just be yourself. You know, they have some nice little skit where some kid would sort of, you know, be struggling with trying to fit in, and they say, well, just be yourself. You know, in everyday life we always ask that question. But I actually realize being yourself is not a passive thing, because we grow up in a world where we're taught to be something, that there's a supposed to be. You know, I grew up, and I was talking about my religious thing. It's not something I want to hover on forever, but it's just growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. Growing up in that religion. And it just didn't fit me. You know, it's like some clothing that don't fit. You know, it's like clothing that's too tight or too loose. You know, you want to get something that fits comfortably. And that religion just did not fit comfortably. It didn't fit comfortably. And when you get into stuff like that, it's hard to just get out of it, because if you say no, people get upset. People you care about, people you love, people who think that they're doing the right thing for you by putting you in this thing. And you say, well, I don't want to do this. I don't agree with it. And you know some of those stuff it just doesn't agree with you. And so you have to go through a transformation. You see, being yourself really is a process. It's a process. You have to go through this process of being. Being isn't just a passive thing. It's a process. Because there's always things that are trying to push you away from being yourself. It's trying to make you into something different. Religious groups want to make you this type of person, or political groups want to make you into that kind of person. That's why I'm not a person who's really strong on certain perspectives in politics or anything else. I try to avoid labeling myself. I mean, in life, yeah, there's a kind of need to label, so to speak, for practicality's sake, but I never identify myself with the label. You know, most of the time when I go to vote, I'll vote Democrat, but I have occasionally voted for Republicans. I'll vote for somebody if they have a good program going or something I agree with. You know, but all things being equal, I'm going to vote Democrat. You know, that's sort of like my default mode, so to speak. But it's not an absolute imperative. I must vote this way. I think it's true with so many other aspects of our lives. And a lot of times people don't want to talk about that stuff because there are things you're supposed to be. You know, it's like when people get into that, you know, I used to always hear this expression, my country, right or wrong expression, that, you know, you're supposed to support the United States no matter what. If they did evil things, well, I'm still in favor of my country. If they do bad things, I'm in favor of my country. No. You know, we should protest, and we should speak out, and we should say, no, I don't agree with that. I know this one person that I worked with who was such a slave to her parents. She could never disagree with her father, particularly. You just did not agree with him. He was a very stern person. If he said something, you had to agree. And she knew she was under pressure to do that. But I always thought something like that created a great deal of anxiety in this person, because this individual, this woman, suffered a lot. She was always anxious, always nervous, always scared, always full of fear. I think that's what happens when you're really not in harmony with your own feelings about something. When things in this world just don't fit. Somebody might tell you, for example, like she did, you know, you shouldn't drive foreign cars because that's putting Americans out of work. And this, you know, I'm thinking I'll drive what I want to. She was so strong on that. Now she drives a foreign car. It's funny because her husband decides, well, it's okay to drive a foreign car. She always followed what either her father said or her husband. And especially if both of them agreed on something, she definitely had to do it. She might, for example, want to drive a Nissan, but she can't drive it because her husband and her father say, no, you don't drive foreign cars. You know, so you have to learn to kill that desire to have that car. Look, a car and having a car and driving a particular type of car isn't quite in the category of needs in a real sense. I mean, yeah, you could live without ever driving a foreign car. But you know that there's so many things in the world you would like to do, but you just can't do it because other people get upset. You can't follow your own desire for something because other people get upset. You know, maybe, for example, maybe you're gay. Maybe you're a man and you're attracted to other men. But you can't express that because you'll be disowned by your family. You'll be disowned by the people closest to you. And there's that risk and that fear. Or maybe you're a person who's black and you fall in love with someone who's white. You can't do that because you'll be disowned. You'll be talked about. Or maybe, you know, you come from a poor place where people are very poor. And if you become successful, you'll be disowned and people will distance themselves from you. Or people will come up to you looking for money. They don't care about you. They just care about what you got. You know, being yourself is a struggle. It's really a process. It's not just a passive thing of just sitting there and being yourself. It's a matter of staying on target. It's like a navigation thing. You know, it's like a journey and a destination at the same time because you're moving a certain way and there are things trying to pull you off that target. You know, you want to stay on that target of being yourself, but something is pulling you away from being yourself. And so you start, maybe to fit in, you'll go along with some program that just doesn't fit you. But at the end of it all, you'll say, well, I do fit in. I fit in. I'm not comfortable. I don't like it, but I'm accepted. I haven't been disowned by my family. I haven't been disowned by my friends. But I'm not very happy with this. But I am fitting in. You know, I'd rather not fit in and be happy because being yourself really is a process. And it takes effort to really be yourself in this world. Maybe one day, millions of years from now, being yourself will be an acceptable thing. And it'll be easy. But it really does take something. People who can truly be themselves, those people really should be applauded. And that's the truth.